All right, well, joining us now, our first guest here in the new year on the Marlins Hot Stove Show, recently signed a deal with the Miami Marlins. Eric Wagaman joining us. Eric, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on here.
Okay, how was your holiday season? Did you get any toys you can't put your hands off of? How was the Christmas season?
Oh, it was good. Just spent the time with some family and my girlfriend. It was good. It was relaxing. Not a whole lot going on. Yeah, it was all good.
Do you have gift opening anxiety?
No, I mean, I think everyone just looking at the presents under the tree before the actual Christmas day, you're just like, I got to see what's in here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you always want to open them early.
But what if someone gets you something? Do you feel like you have to oh my God, I love it. Like with the person right there, or are you just authentic?
No, I think you got to fake it. You got to tell them you love it.
Is Christmas big in the Wagaman household?
I wouldn't say huge, but I mean, it's definitely a big thing, but it's not like we've got our homes just covered in lights, and I mean, we definitely have some decorations, and I feel like it's pretty modest.
All right. Well, before we get into the baseballs, we will chat baseball, Eric, with you at some point.
Eventually.
Growing up in California, big sports fan. Is your NFL team making a big playoff push? Who do you root for here? Who'd you root for growing up?
So, I mean, the closest team to me growing up was the Chargers down in San Diego, and then my last couple of years in California, we had the Rams and obviously the Chargers in LA. But I don't know. I wasn't like a diehard Chargers fan or anything. I did have a lot of friends in my area that were big Chargers fans. So when I did move out here to Dallas, I mean, I hate to say it, but I jumped on the bandwagon, got a Cowboys jersey and all of it.
Really? Your last name on the back or somebody else's?
I got the CeeDee Lamb jersey.
Come on, you can't do the last name. How old are you, Eric? How old are we? I'm 26. Come on.
Well, we're supposed to go no last names on him?
No, we're not supposed to go our own last name. We're not supposed to go Strom or Wagaman. You got to get the player name.
Yeah, we got CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. No, Kyle was like, "Did you get it on your last?" And I was like,
"I didn't know if he bought the jersey. Went to the team store, said I need Wagaman printed on the back of this thing."
I should have.
Okay. Steven, I have one more, and I hinted to you before he hopped on. I was going to ask him this. Eric, I did a quick Google search of your name. Obviously, wanted to go to your baseball reference, just chat with you a little bit. But I did a Google search of your name, and it brings me to Amazon Fashion, and there's a T-shirt being sold for $23 that says, "I love it when my wife lets me watch Eric Wagaman." Do you have any idea why this T-shirt is being sold on Amazon, and why should I buy it?
I can't tell if you're being serious right now.
I swear, if I could share my screen, Eric, I swear to you.
Kyle, I'll try to get it. Hold on.
You know what?
That is hilarious. No, I have no idea that it was being sold on Amazon. I don't even know what to say about that.
Okay, that's fine. I just didn't know if there was a story behind it. That's okay.
No. All right. I'd love to know the story behind that, to be honest.
All right, well, listen, here's what I'll do. I'll shoot you a text of the link so you can see that I'm being very serious. I just did a Google search, and that's what popped up on Amazon.
Oh,
hold on. What do you type in, Kyle? Eric Wagaman T-shirt? I might actually order one now.
We may. You know what? Eric, I'm just gonna send you. I'm just gonna send you the link, and you can take a look at it when you see fit later. But I was stunned. I thought maybe there was something to this, but this is the first you're hearing about it.
That is so funny. This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
All right, I just sent it to you. You can even take a look right now if you'd like.
Send it to me, Kyle. Send it to me or send it in the chat so I can pull it up here for our visual audience. I'm sorry for our podcast audience, but this is too important not to at least try.
There you go, Steven. I sent it your way.
That is so funny. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that's like someone being funny or I mean, I wonder if everyone kind of has that.
Okay. I don't know.
Just a quick.
I'd never seen it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there you go. You can show it to your girlfriend.
How do you feel when you see something like that, E?
It just makes me laugh. That's crazy. That's a funny one. I wouldn't expect someone to make a shirt that said that, but that's funny.
Well, there we go. Eric, welcome to Miami, by the way. Would you like to tell us how excited you are to be a Miami Marlin and how all this came to fruition this offseason for you?
Yeah, I'm stoked. So I mean, at the end of the season with the Angels, I got DFA'd, cleared waivers, and became a free agent. And eventually, we heard from the Marlins that they wanted to do this, and I was stoked because I don't personally know a lot of any of the guys on the team, but I've played against quite a few of the position players at least that have been traded over to the Marlins throughout the past couple of years. And just playing against those guys, I mean, they're really good players and they seem like good dudes to be around. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And then throughout the past few weeks of actually being signed with the Marlins, the amount of staff that's reached out, whether it's text or phone call, everyone's just been so welcoming. And I'm looking forward to getting this going here pretty soon.
So, Eric, you got some good time at the end of the season and had some success. Just what were some of your takeaways playing at the big league level for the first time in a short stint?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a big jump from even the AAA ball. I think the hitting coach with the Angels definitely helped me out a lot. Just and watching some of the other like Taylor Ward and the guys have been doing it all season or for multiple seasons. And kind of just picking up what they do as far as maybe being a little more patient, not so aggressive, especially early in counts, especially when you don't know the pitcher. You've never seen these guys before.
Sure.
You can watch all the video you want, but until you're in the box, you don't really have a perfect idea of what's going on. And just the way those pitchers locate in the big leagues is, I mean, they're obviously the top of the game. So, it was definitely a little bit of an adjustment, but I feel like I definitely found a groove once that first hit landed on the grass, found some outfield grass. I feel like it's oh, okay, there's the first one. Now we can go a little bit.
Right.
Exactly. It kind of slows the game down a little bit. And I mean, that was another thing, even on defense, just trying to just slow the game down as much as possible. Cause it's definitely a different animal up there.
Now, Kyle, I might go backwards here with Eric, but before, let me just show him. I actually got the Amazon purchase here. I love it when my wife lets me watch Eric Wagaman.
That's awesome.
So
$23. You got different colors. You've got different options.
Mine's on sale. I got mine for $17.99. If you see in the top right corner,
that's a steal.
Anyway, so let's go back. You were drafted by the Yankees in the 13th round back in 2017. And then Rule 5 to the Angels. But let me actually first start with the New York Yankees. The Marlins director of hitting is Joe Migliaccio. Did you run into him at any point?
Yeah, he was the AA hitting coach when I wasn't in AA at the time. And then eventually he made his way to the hitting coordinator. So, I got to be around Joe for a few years. So I got to know him pretty well. I actually reached out to him a couple weeks ago and just caught up with him a little bit. He's awesome. I love what he has to talk about. And I think he's going to do a great job in his new role.
You know what? If somebody said you get a chance to chat with Juan Soto, I'd love to do it. But I've always enjoyed talking to guys like yourself, Eric, that have just absolutely grinded through this thing and have finally kind of reached the mountaintop. Now they say it's easy. It's easier to get there and it's harder to stay there. But can you just take me through the grind that you've been on since you were drafted 7-8 years ago now? And I guess through some of the trials and tribulations, how many times did it, you're laying in a bed in a AA hotel and it's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get there. How hard is it to stick to this thing?
I think, I mean, eventually it's I just feel like you gotta love being there. That's the main thing. And, the guys that I was around in the Yankees organization, it felt like a really good culture from the players to the staff. And it never felt like a long journey to me. It felt like it's flown by. There's I don't know. I just feel like you got to love being out there. And when you have good people around you, it makes it go by a lot quicker. And I mean, I'm just extremely lucky to have finally got an opportunity to make it. And, show what I can do a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it definitely took swing changes and listening to, all the coaches' advice from defense to hitting approaches to the swing mechanics. I mean, all of it. I definitely am very grateful for the Yankees.
It is a little unusual, by the way. There are oftentimes minor league journeymen, or whatever you'd like to call them, in parts of 7 seasons. You might see them with 3 to 4 different teams. You've only been affiliated in 2 different organizations, the Marlins now being your third. I do want to go back to what Steven had asked you about kind of getting to the big leagues with the Angels. Can you dive a little deeper for those of us that'll never experience it? The first time you step onto that field, like after the national anthem, are your feet on the ground? Where is your head? How do you do it that first time, like making your debut?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when I first got there, I, introduced myself to Ron Washington, and I wasn't in the lineup that night, which I was kind of happy about, because it was like a super early flight, 5 a.m. out of there, couple of like connections to Minnesota. But just, yeah, walking out there and taking batting practice and just like, I don't know, just try to take it all in. And then, eventually, like, I think it was the 8th inning I came in, got my first AB, played a couple innings of defense. And I mean, as a fan of the game, like I stood out there in left field and just looked around, and just, this was crazy. People were chirping me from the left field stands, and I was like, I don't even care. You guys say whatever you want. I'm just going to soak it in. But then, the next night when I was in the lineup, I believe it was 9/11. So they did, a nice little ceremony before. There was a cool flyover that they did, and I was just like, this is crazy that I'm standing on the field for this, like about to play in a big league game. And then, the game starts and you try and slow it down, but you just do your best to slow down the game and have some fun out there.
Eric, you had mentioned being managed by Ron Washington, one of my favorites. What did you learn from him? Any stories that you could share with him?
I mean, that guy is an infield just guru. I mean, you see it, I feel like, all over social media, and that's kind of been his reputation for however long he's been in this game. So for me, like, I just started playing third last season, so just taking in all of the drills that he brought in, any type of like little advice on positioning, reading swings, all that kind of stuff. He was super, super helpful. Him and just the other 2 infield guys that were helping out, they were all on the same page. And he was super, super helpful in the infield. I don't have any. I feel like I wasn't up there long enough to have any like fun stories, but
sure.
Just as far as like the baseball side goes, I feel like I learned a ton in that 3 weeks that I was up there on the.
No, I just remember like the first couple of games with the Angels, I think they struggled. They may have gotten swept in Baltimore. He had a team meeting after 3 days. People were like, what the heck's going on? And then they actually came to Miami and kicked the Marlins' butt and swept them. So I just know that he's a very emotional, but he also is so connected with his players. Now, you mentioned reading swings at third base. Me and Kyle love the details and nitty-gritty of this stuff. So just give us sort of an example of what you're trying to see at third base, reading swings, and then maybe anticipating where the ball would go.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you see a guy that's late on like a couple heaters, luckily we do have the pitch comm up there. The infielders have the pitch comm, so you know it's coming. And maybe like as the pitcher's coming set or about to start their wind up or whatever, you shade, if it's another fastball, maybe you shade a step or two to your right, if it's a lefty or whatever it may be, just so you can get that extra little jump, because some of those guys are really fast. They fly down the line, and every out is important, so you gotta make the plays.
What are you hoping you bring to Miami?
I hope I can just bring some versatility. I think I played a lot of outfield and third last year, and then my first 6-7 years of pro ball, I played first. So I feel like being able to play a couple different positions, I personally think I can hit for average and some power. And I think, whatever role is my role with the Marlins, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do my best at it.
I think there's a lot of guys too, and understandably so. It's darn near hard enough to get to the big leagues, and many guys never do, that you'd rather focus on one position. And for whatever reason, I feel like in recent years, when people would say utility man, some players would sometimes take it as almost like a negative connotation that you're a utility man. But Eric, I mean, obviously, as you know, and it seems like it's something you almost look forward to, being versatile and the ability to play multiple positions has obviously led potentially to this opportunity that you now have in Miami. How much do you pride yourself on getting your third base work in every day, your outfield work, your first base work, all that?
Oh, 100%. That, I mean, led me to where I'm at now. It just opens up a lot more options. You know what I mean? It's like, if you can hit a little bit and stick around, like, and you can play a couple positions and help the team that way, I just think it's super valuable. Yeah, and I definitely take pride in playing good defense. Like, I mean, just like anybody else, I hate making errors or bad plays. So this offseason, playing third base or like taking ground balls at third base, making good throws, all that kind of stuff has been a huge priority for me. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to like whatever my role may be. I'm just excited for it.
You're a pretty big dude, 6'4", 210, 215, whatever you're playing at. Always an unfair question, but simply out of curiosity, at that size, a big guy, do you model your game after anybody when you're going through slumps? Is there anything you look at on video? Like, I don't know. Do you remind yourself of anybody when you're playing by any stretch?
I feel like no one in particular that I try to model myself after. I think, I mean, I don't want to, there's definitely like the top hitters. I do love watching video of them. I think there's a lot of similarities in a lot, the best players in the game swings. And I have like certain things that I know work for me, whether it feels right or not that day. It's like, you might not feel your best that day, but like, I know it's right. As far as mechanics go. Like I said, I don't really model it after anybody in particular, but I do try and watch different video of different guys, like, and how they get to these spots that they get to in order to have success on a daily basis.
I'm curious with this, Eric. The Marlins had multiple guys last year, like let's use Jonah Bride or Otto Lopez, where they didn't get the opportunity with their original organization or their second or third organization, and they found success here. Jonah Bride was one of the better stories of the second half. Otto Lopez was someone that was DFA'd and the Marlins acquired. Is that sort of attractive when you are selecting a place to go in free agency and you look? Do you look at those types of things, guys that sort of didn't quite figure it out with one organization and then they go to another and they succeed?
Yeah, I definitely think it's promising. I think, I feel like there's a ton of guys that it's just the right place in the right time. Like it's either a change of scenery or whatever it may be, that just maybe something clicks for them. And, it was always in there, but maybe they just had never had like a consistent opportunity to get to that spot. But yeah, I do think changes of scenery are really good for some people. And I think it can make a big difference. I think, yeah, I mean, overall, I think people will take all that kind of stuff into consideration. Maybe Sure. They know someone on the staff, maybe they've talked to whatever it may be. I definitely think that's taken into consideration.
I read this in an article written about you. I'm going to read the quote and then you can explain why it's important to you. You said on, keeping the ball in play, I do take pride in trying to keep the strikeouts down. I feel like there's a lot of value in that, whether it is a hit hard or soft, but find some outfield grass. I think there's a lot of value in that.
Yeah. I mean, just putting the ball in play just forces them to make a play. You know what I mean? Now, you're not going to, we're always trying to drive the ball, but like even with two strikes and stuff in the big leagues, you're trying to win ball games. So whatever you can do to try and move a runner over or whatever it may be, I just think not striking out is just huge. I mean, you look at like Luis Arias, he strikes out twice a year, and look at it. And just look how that works out for him. So I just think overall keeping the strike, it's just something I pride myself on, and I try and keep at a minimum, definitely. But without sacrifice, like with two strikes, I'm not just trying to, have a swinging bunt, Sure. But at the same time, I think it comes down to having a solid approach, having a good plan up there and knowing what you want to do, whether it's backing up the fastball and shooting it to right field or whatever it may be.
Well, it's a great example because Luis Arraez has made his money on the ability to make contact. He doesn't hit for power, but he darn near hits 300, and he's a singles hitter, but he sets the table for all the guys behind him. Eric, when you made your debut last season, you became the 21st player to appear in the big leagues out of Orange Coast College in Costa Mesa, California. I ask you that because you were a 13th round pick out of Orange Coast College. Not many folks would probably have heard by that. You didn't come out of Auburn or Alabama or LSU or these huge schools in the first round. Do you look at yourself as an underdog? What's the mentality that you take to the field every day?
Maybe a little bit, but nothing crazy. I just want to go out there and be consistent. I know, like, I believe in myself. I know I'm a good player. I try not to compare myself to others. I feel like that's, that's just asking for problems. I don't know about an underdog, but I don't know. I just try and go out there and do my best, and like I said, not compare myself to others.
Hey, why this journey for you? Did you have big time offers? Why did you choose to go to Orange Coast College?
I had a couple, smaller Division II schools out of high school. I don't think I was at that time. I just wasn't super athletic. I was slow, and going the junior college route was probably the best thing for me, just to develop a little more. And then out of there, I was going to go to the University of Houston. But, I got drafted and was like, I just want to start this journey and not risk getting hurt or anything else happening, and kind of just went with it like that. Yeah.
My other one for you would then be, if you were a little bit slower, but a good ball player and all that stuff, when you came out of high school and chose to go to junior college, was your intention like, I'm going to do 2 years here, I'm going to a big school, and I'm going to play professional baseball? Or was it for the longest time you had no idea where life was going to take you after college?
I definitely knew that I wanted to play Division I baseball. I mean, if pro ball came around, then it came around, but I definitely knew I wanted to play Division I. So, if that took 2 years at a junior college, then so be it. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously nothing wrong with playing Division II. That was my personal goal. So that's kind of how that happened.
So again, you got selected by the Yankees, and then the Angels selected you in the Rule 5 draft. Now, last year, you began in AA, and then you were promoted to AAA in August. You were selected in September. What clicked last year to really move quickly, at least in 2024, to the big leagues?
I think it was just trusting my swing and like knowing that I had it in me. I think with the Yankees, I didn't, I like 2022 and 23, I didn't play a whole lot, but I had put together good at bats, put together some good numbers and stuff. So when I did go to the Angels, I was like, I know I can play. If I get a shot to play every day here, I know what I can do. So nothing really changed from those past 2 years. Obviously, always trying to improve the mechanics and be consistent, but there was no like certain thing that clicked. I feel like I definitely learned a lot in AA from our hitting coach, and even in AAA, just about approach stuff. I think that's probably was the main thing for me. And sticking to a good plan as you go up there.
I should have asked it. Did you work with Rachel Balkovec in New York too?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I was never on her team when she managed, but I was around her a lot for the 2 or 3 years that she was, I saw her in spring training, so I got to know her pretty well. So we connected after I signed with the Marlins, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing her.
It was interesting too, Steven and Eric, the reason I asked you earlier about your journey and if there was ever times where you felt like it wasn't going to happen, when you came out of junior college, it took you 5 years to get out of A-ball. A lot of guys wouldn't last that long, but was interesting to me, a lot of organizations would also probably give up on a guy if they can't get out of A-ball after 5 years. I thought that was really, really cool. What do you think, what do you think the Yankees saw in you year after year? No, we're going to keep work. Obviously, you ended up in the Angel system, but he's not going anywhere. He's ours. We're going to continue to work with him.
I think it comes down to, I personally think it's, I don't know, being a good teammate, being good around the staff and other players. I feel like I didn't really complain too much about things. I like I said, I just love being there. I think I always had like the potential. So it's like, I feel like that having the potential to make it maybe one day, and being a good person and being a good teammate definitely can take you places. Cause I feel like there's guys that you see have all this talent, but like, they're just not good to be around. And eventually like they just get weeded out. So
yeah.
I think that definitely played a part in it.
I've got two more because you've been very generous with your time, and then Steven, you can wrap us up in a couple of minutes. My first one for you, your off season. I know we chatted earlier today. Actually, I know you're getting in some live reps now. Are you going to tell us you're facing DeGrom or somebody, or who you facing down there in Texas in the off season?
Right now we're just facing some of the college guys that I work out with. Nothing crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, just some of the college guys I work out with.
Okay, and my last one for you. What do you know about Miami, and have you ever been here?
I only have been to Miami for my physical that I had to go do.
Okay.
But I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about it. From the people to just the whole scene there. It seems like a great place to be, and I'm
Are you
excited.
a foodie?
I definitely am a foodie. I like going to different places, so I'm open to all recommendations from any type of cuisine.
I got some good date night spots for you. What else? Do you like the beach?
But this
you seem like a guy that burns.
Yeah, do you burn easy?
I burn easily. So if I do go to the beach, there has to be an umbrella.
Umbrella and SPF 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you surf in California?
No, never. I never tried surfing. I did a lot of like the boogie board stuff, but never. I never got on a surfboard. I don't know how I missed that.
All right. Well, listen, Eric, thank you for your time. We're both going to purchase these Amazon t-shirts. Amazing. Make sure
we're going to show your spring training.
Make sure you show your family if you need. We're happy to get one for you. It could be on your chair as soon as you report to spring training the first day. But hey, listen, seriously, thank you for the time. Welcome to Miami. We're pumped to watch you. I think you're going to have a great year, and we'll chat with you soon, Eric.
I appreciate you guys having me. I'm looking forward to getting down there and meeting you guys.